Y'all, every single time I go to make a video, I just want to be like, hi, I'm Dr. K, and you're watching Disney Channel. Yeah, I could make that my intro. Like, and you're watching the Cozy OT. I don't know. I feel like that would be cheesy. Anywho, so switching gears from travel therapy from last week, some of you guys messaged me with some questions, so we'll probably do a part 2 travel therapy video. But today, this week, I want us to talk about things that you should be doing before you assess range of motion. The first thing sounds so obvious, but I think it gets missed a lot. We need to observe the person that we're working with. How are we positioned? Because if our body is not optimally positioned, when I go to take a range of motion measurement, it might not actually be accurate. And I know some people don't want to hear that, but it's true. So we want to look at the client's positioning. We want to make note of that. And if we can help facilitate proper alignment in order to support range of motion. I love screenings because they can mimic things that we might do at home or in the community, and it can kind of give me some insight as a clinician too of, okay, how much of these movement limitations, if there are any, are from a range of motion deficit, or how much of it is from a strength deficit. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go stand and just run through my quick screens with you guys. You can complete these with an individual from a seated position or a standing position. Just because I'm going to be moving around a lot, I'm going to do it in standing. Welcome to my corner of the internet. I love a good dad joke. Okay, I think I measured this right, so we're gonna go with what we got. So first things first, it's just the airplane. There's a wall here. Oh, did not measure this right. We get the idea. So my airplane motion, I'm looking at, what are we looking at? We're looking at abduction. We're looking at elbow extension. We can look at wrist extension. We can ask the person to do some external rotation by putting their thumbs up, and then some supination, and then go the other way. So just with the airplane mode, we're looking at a couple of things with the upper extremities. And then the next thing we can do is we can tell them to go chillax at the beach. So again, looking at external rotation and a little bit more of an intense movement here. So thinking about ADL's impacted. This is where I wash my hair, I brush my hair, I can shave my head, I can put on a ball cap. Maybe, full motion, I want to put my kid on my shoulders. That type of movement is what we're looking at. Well, I like screens too, because you can see if the movement can occur, to what degree, but also for how long, the duration of time that an individual can hold that position as well before we actually go in and do muscle testing through like MMT. And then looking on the front side, in this position, I could do some oral hygiene if I wanted to put on some makeup and look fancy, or maybe not fancy, whatever your heart desires. So we've got elbow flexion this time. You can do a little bit of wrist extension depending on the movement that you're imitating. I almost said intimidating. Imitating here. So then switching from this kind of external rotation movement going into internal rotation. What am I hiding behind my back? We have internal rotation. And then also looking at digit movement back here as well. This could be helpful if I want to zip something up, if I need to wash my back. We can also look at what that movement limitation could possibly look like here, if we can come all the way back, or if we're compensating and we can come here. This next one is a little bit silly. I work in pediatrics and with adults, but adults love it too. So this is just the zombie. Again, I've got my extension, and then I've got flexion, wrist extension, make me a biker zombie, hey-oh, or crank that soldier boy. That's gonna tell you guys how old I am. So that's just something else that you could do here just to get an idea of movement. Just a quick breakdown of what I might start a screening with. I think it's also important that we check in with our clients and see if they notice what we notice, or maybe they notice something that we're missing, because people know their bodies best. And so I'll ask people, hey, do you notice? What do you notice? Not even do you notice. What do you notice? And it's interesting for me to hear how their brain and body is interpreting that experience as well. I think it's important information to have as a clinician. So there you go. Very basic, short, quick, and to the point screening that you can do before you go in with any type of formal testing. And it's quick, to the point, it's fun, it's a nice icebreaker for the person that you're working with. And I mean, if you take nothing else away from other than looking at the movements and areas of occupation that could be impacted, is to really just observe your client. Just use the powers of observation. And we'll talk more about that later when we get into a vision series that I want to do, because our posture, our positioning is going to impact our vision, but it's also going to impact any type of ADLs, IADLs, things that we do as humans on a daily basis. And so use your powers of observations when you go out there and let that support your clinical judgment. If you guys have any screens that you like to use, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. I mean, this was just, again, a quick rundown. I'm sure there's other ones out there, and I'd love to learn from you too. Okay, see you.